Hey guys, it is Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Got a fun one today. We're going to learn how to do You're Gonna Go Far, Kid by the Offspring. So this one's actually got pretty fun riffs in it. There's some, when you ever see them play it live, well, I think they have a second guitar player that plays off stage or maybe on stage, but they have Noodles doing his thing, and so a lot of what we're doing is what he's doing, obviously. And it's got a cool solo section in it. It's got a harmony guitar line and a rhythm guitar part to it. So we're going to try to cover a lot of it as you can just play on one guitar, but there's going to be elements. Obviously, I'm going to cover both riffs that are happening at the same time, most specifically in like the pre-chorus and stuff. So we're going to get through the whole thing though today. So please continue to follow along throughout the lesson. And if you really like what I do here on YouTube or whatever, join my Guitar Academy. I'm going to say a link to it in the description. I talk about it in all my videos, but if you click that link, you get a free 7-day trial, and you'll get full access to all my courses. So you can kind of improve your overall guitar skill, not just learn songs. And you can find all about it just by clicking the link below. All right, so let's jump into this. We are in standard tuning, and we're going to start out pretty simple. And then some of the riffs get a little bit more challenging as you go, and the solo is a little challenging as well too. So we're going to take a look at this opening verse, which is really kind of this chord progression is played through 3 times. The third time, though, it's kind of more of a more straightforward, like kind of an eighth note feel. So it looks like this at first. And here I kind of call it from there when it goes to the pre-chorus. So we're going to start here with just this A power chord. It's off the 5th string of fifth fret of the low E string. So just that chord, hit twice, and then kill it. And then take it down to the 1st fret, so this F power chord. And same thing, just hit it twice and kill it. Then over to the C power chord, which is off the 3rd fret of the A string. So same power chord shape, off the 3rd fret of the A. And then what you're going to do is move up every string, move up a string every single note. So you're going to be the power chord built off the 3rd fret of the low E. So it's just like that. So we have this. Same rhythm on each. Then just repeat that. Now from here, we're going to do the same chords, but we're going to play one of them in a higher octave, and we're going to play them in a kind of a more kind of a straight through feel, so just down, 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 down. So I'm going to start the first chord is play the same, but instead of going down here and playing this F here at the 1st fret of the low E, we play an octave higher F power chord, which is off the 8th fret of the A string. So same chord full note. So I have this. And then we're going to finish it with the same 2 chords we did before. So hard by the 3rd fret of the A and then the 3rd fret of the low E string. So that's the verse. So it's basically the chord progression played 3 times, but slightly different the 3rd time with the rhythm and that one of those chords moved up now an octave. All right, and then we get to the pre-chorus. Now there's 2 distinct parts going on here. We have a little melody guitar line and we have the rhythm. Now live, you just really kind of see Noodles playing the melody, and then you can hear, I think another guitar player off the stage or whatever playing, or he might be on the stage, I just didn't see him in the video, or the bassist just kind of taking care of this, this sort of this little driving rhythm that they're doing. So what that rhythm is first, we'll do that, and then we'll take a look at the actual guitar melody that goes on here for the pre-chorus. So it's just... So you could just do single notes, or you could start to add the 5th in the chord, which makes it a full power chord here, but it's really kind of, it starts here on the F here. So we're going to start here at the 1st fret. Like I said, you can hold the power chord shape which would basically add that note on the 5th string there. I'm sorry, yeah, the 3rd fret of the A string. I'm really focusing on that bottom note. And then I come up here, I'm kind of doing the same thing here at the 5th fret of the A string. And you can hear me kind of like bump into that D string every once in a while just to kind of fill out the sound. Just the power chord. And the same thing up here, move it up to the 8th fret. So he's not doing something, he's not playing like this full chord like really evenly. He's more focusing on the lowest note in the chord, and you can kind of hear the note. That note, the 5th being added on top of it, like occasionally, but softly. It's not really kind of hit as hard as the root note. It's really wanting to do that driving rhythm on the root note. End it with this power chord hit 3 times here off the 3rd fret of the low E. So that's going to end the pre-chorus there. And then we get to the chorus, which is similar to the when we played the verse, that 3rd time we played the verse, where we moved that F chord up an octave. That's pretty much what the chorus progression is, except they add a little rhythmic figure at the end of it. So it looks like this. All right, so this right here is going to be the same chord, so just that 5th fret power chord off the low E, and then the 8th fret power chord off the A, 3rd fret power chord off the A, and then the 3rd fret power chord off the low E. So so it's kind of just kind of a driving rhythm. And so after you start that rhythm on the 3rd fret of the last chord, you're going to add this just a quick little down, up, down, kind of, and it's palm muted. So you can slightly let your palm touch the string right in front of the bridge here. And it's going to kind of give it that percussive sound. So you're going to go down, up, and then so that down, up, down, that last down, you're going to let it ring so it goes. Basically do it twice. Muted. Goes like this. All right, so that's full thing. Repeat. All right, now it's going to end the chorus here with this little thing. So that's going to hit that power chord, that A power chord off the 5th fret off the low E string twice, and then a heavily palm muted. At least this part, you're going to go hit the 7th fret there on the A string twice, and then back and then to the 5th fret of the D. You're going to do that twice. So you can see that the 7s are heavily palm muted. That part, that note's not. So, and then you're gonna move over and play 5 on the G string, and then 7 on the D. Those don't need to be muted either. So, and then it starts back over with the verse again. So we just go back through the same verse. Same pre-chorus with both of those guitar parts going, oh, I'm sorry, you know what? I forgot in the pre-chorus before, when we covered it before, I forgot the melody part. So I'm sure you're going to be lighting up the comments here. So let's go into that now. So we're going to basically play this, it's over this part. That pre-chorus, we had this little melody. All right, so now we got the melody. So that little pre-chorus melody there, so it's same thing happens in both the first pre-chorus and the second pre-chorus. It's just gonna be this, the melody is gonna be the 7th fret there on the D. And then you're gonna play 10, 9 on the G. And then back over to the 7th fret on the D. So we have this. Then do the melody again just like that. Then play the melody, except the last note is a little different. So move that last note over to this 10th fret of the D instead of the 7th fret of the D. So the rest of it's the same. And then we're going to end the part by going back to the G string, just playing that 9th fret. And then hitting that G power chord at the 3rd fret 3 times to end it. So all together. All right, so finally we've completed the pre-chorus. I'm sorry about that. I should have nailed it the first time, but I got a lot of notes down here. So anyway, so after you get through the second verse, which is the same as the first, and pre-chorus and chorus again, we get to the solo section. So there's a rhythm guitar part to this, and then there's the actual solo, which contains some harmonized lines and octaves and all that stuff. So I'll talk about that part in a second. So let's take care of the rhythm guitar part first. So it looks like this. All right, so that's going to be basically going to start here at the power chord at the 5th fret of the low E string, hit that, and then over to the 7th fret power chord off the A, and up to 8. And when you get to that 8, then you start kind of playing a consistent rhythm. And take that down to the 3rd fret there, and back up to the 7th. This so far. All right, from there we have this. So that's gonna go back to that little that rhythm that we did. That was at the end of the chorus. We're gonna do that on the power chord, the A power chord that's out the 5th fret off the low E string. Do that twice there, and then down to the 3rd fret. So, and then jump back up to the 8th fret power chord off the A string. So, then down to the 3rd fret again. And we have this little transition. And it sounds like just an octave he's doing. He comes up here and grabs the octave. Now, if you don't know what an octave is, you're basically playing this note here, this is the 5th fret on the A string, and then the octave of that note, so same note, 1 octave higher, off the G string. What makes this difficult, you have to mute the note in the middle. So you just hit those 3 strings, and then that you still don't hear that. Now, in reality, you have to mute all the strings. I'm muting the low E, the B, and the high E, all with my index finger. The index finger is basically just holding this note down, touching the top of the string above it, the bottom of the string above it, and then it's muting all the strings below. So it's just holding that one note. And then I'm going to add this octave, but index finger is what's controlling the sound and keeping all the open strings from ringing. So we have that, we do the octave shape, and then back to the power chord shape here off the 7th fret of the A. And we're almost done here with the solo rhythm. It goes to the open E power chord down here, so the open E string with the 2nd fret of the A and the D. And then to the G power chord off the 3rd fret of the to finish it. So all together for that the rhythm guitar part to the solo section. It looks like this. I guess it'll break down. All right, so now let me go through the solo. So I'll show you, I'll kind of preface what I'm going to be playing in the solo. He starts out with this octave melody, Noodles does, and then it goes into a harmonized guitar line that is actually played in octaves. So it's the same harmony played in 2 octaves apart. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be playing the harmony parts. I don't know if he actually plays these together or just recorded all the lines separately, but I'm going to be playing the 2 main harmony lines, the high version of them. So up here in this register, you're going to hear on the recording the same 2 harmony notes also played an octave lower. You can achieve that by just playing, when you get to this section, you play the 2 high harmony lines that I'm doing, but kind of engaging an octave pedal that will add do the same thing that you're doing down an octave lower. And then it'll sound like the recording. You have to put it all together, but it's impossible to play all the lines together. All right, so here we go. All right, so like I said, I don't really know what he's doing during the harmony line, but I'm trying to make it sound like the recording. So, I mean, I don't really know what he's doing live, at least, but I know that if you play those 2 lines and you add an octave pedal to do the exact same thing below it, it'll sound like the recording. So let's jump in here. So you can start with the same first 2 chords that happen in the solo rhythm. I see Noodles does that live. He plays that along with it, and then he goes into the octave melody. So it looks like this. So that melody is going to be this octave. So we talked about octaves before. So when I'm talking about this octave, it's all going to stay on the same, off this 5th fret, off the A string. So this 10th fret here, we're going to start on the A, and you're always going to have that note here, on this, in this case, the 12th fret here on the G. So basically 2 frets above it, or 1 string, you're going to skip a string. So it's between only the A string and the G string where the notes are played on for all these octaves. So it's going to stay there, and obviously we talked about the muting. So we're going to go. So the melody starts like that. So it kind of jumps around quite a bit. So when I say what fret, I'm going to be referring to the fret that your index finger's at. So obviously this is going to go along with it. So we have 10th fret, down to 7, back to 10, slide up to 12, 10, 7, 10. And then you do that melody again, but you just kind of get that far. Down to 10, and then you're going to go up to 15, 14, 11, and back to 14. So all together real slow. From there, we're going to have the harmony section. Like I said, you can play the harmony down there or up here. They're both heard on the recording. It's a little bit easier to play it up here, just the voicings, and then just have a harmony pedal, an octave pedal do the rest, an octave down. So what I'm doing up here is going to be the 17th fret on the G and 17th fret on the B. I like to do that with 2 fingers. You can do it like that, but I like to be able to control the notes. If I want to add some vibrato, I can. And then we're going to go, that's going to be these minor third intervals. So it's going to be the 16th fret there on the G and the 15th fret there on the B. Then jump that down, shift that down real quick to 2 frets, the 13th fret, and then back up to that 15. So with this. So, and then we're going to come back down here to that same shape here, that minor third interval here at the 13th fret. And we're going to play those 2 notes again. And then just the 12th fret across the D I'm sorry, the G and the B. And then back to that minor third there, the 13th fret, so it is. From here, it goes into some tremolo picking, a melody. So most of this is done on the B string. And then over to the high E. So we're going to start here, though, on the G string of the 10th fret. So let's just look at the melody first. So it's 10 on the G, over to 10 on the B, up to 13 now on the B. I'm going to stay on the B string for a while. Down to 8, back to 13, and all the way up to 17. Now I know you can grab this note here, but if you see Noodles play it live, he goes back and gets it here at the 8th fret. So it is. Then all the way to 17, and then we're going to go over to the high E string. You hold this note a little longer, by the way. And then over to 16 on the high E. 19 and 20, just when you get to 20, just hit it once. So all from the whole solo kind of played slowly looks like this. All right, then it's just a kind of a breakdown section. It really kind of acts as the verse, but there's no guitar going on, except at the very end, we're gonna have 3 hits. 3 hits of that G power chord, which is at the 3rd fret of the low E string. And then we get to the chorus again. So it's the same chorus that we did before, but this one is played 4 times instead of 2 times through. It's just as So do that all the way through, just kind of repeating it 4 times, so it's essentially the same thing, just twice as long. And then it has that same ending to the chorus, but this time it just ends the song. You can actually end it with those 2 hits. So it kind of starts that same 2 hits, that same riff lick we did before, and then just end it a whole song with 2 more hits on that A power chord with the 5th fret of the low E. And that is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a fun one to play. Got some fun riffs. It got some really melodic stuff in it as well. So hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.